Hey guys, and welcome to my kitchen. So this week I did my first grocery haul and I showed you my menu plan for the week, so I figured to go along with that I would show you one of the dinners that we're making. So it's Monday and the dinner that was planned is cabbage soup. Now this is a keto-friendly, low-carb recipe. That's not necessarily why I'm doing it. I also actually made a fresh loaf of bread to go with it tonight. But it's a really good recipe, really like it, super simple in the Instant Pot. So I'm just gonna take you guys along as I make it. You're going to need a pound of beef. I don't do exactly a pound, or I just do kind of whatever. So as you can see, it's probably a little over. And then head of cabbage, soy sauce, 1/4 cup, 3 cups of broth. We have chicken broth from my husband making his chicken, so I'm using that. Pepper, tomato sauce, and diced tomatoes. I am using the diced tomatoes with garlic and onion just to add a little bit extra. Then also garlic and onion salt instead of regular salt. Usually I would add onions, but I'm still kind of iffy with those with the pregnancy, so I'm just adding a little bit with the onions in the can and then the onion salt just to try and keep it still a little mellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with cooking it. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to saute the meat and the garlic. A side note, one thing I wanted to mention that we do to try and not waste food and also just continue to get good use out of our money is for our scraps, whether it's carrot scraps, celery, in this case happens to be cabbage. These are the scraps right here, just the outer leaves and then the core. And we take those and put those in a Ziploc in our freezer to use as the veggies in the chicken broth that my husband makes. Now as you can see, the meat is mostly brown, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic. I don't measure. We like a lot of garlic, but again, pregnancy, so I'm just gonna take a scoop of this pre-minced, toss it in, and give it a stir. Once the meat is fully browned, I will add everything else, and then I will turn it into pressure cooking. All right, it's browned, so I'm gonna go ahead and add everything else. So I'm gonna add a can of tomato sauce, a can of diced tomatoes, 1/4 cup soy sauce, 3 cups of broth. Let's see if I can do this without spilling. Alright, got all that in there. Some pepper. Onion salt. And then I'm going to give this a stir before I add the cabbage. Make sure you get all the meat loose from the bottom. That way your Instant Pot doesn't yell at you for thinking it's burning. Okay, now it's time to add the cabbage. And the cabbage does cook down, so you don't really have to worry about that. You just want to get it in there. And if it all doesn't fit, that's fine. You can use it for something else. I usually go for about a medium head, and that fits pretty well. Give it another good stir. And now we are ready to pressure cook. So put the lid back on, lock it, make sure it's sealed. I'm gonna come down here and set it for 15 minutes. Where's the soup button? Turn it down to 15. And we're good to go. And this is the loaf of bread that I made this morning. Super simple recipe. I may end up sharing that later. But so we'll have that with the soup. And then I may make another vegetable on the side or a salad. But I will check back in with you guys when everything's done. A side note that I do want to mention about this soup, using it in the Instant Pot, even though it only takes 15 minutes to cook, because there's so much liquid in there, it takes a long time to get up to pressure. So you want to make sure that you give yourself adequate time for that to happen.